Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the massive Group C opening matchup between Brazil and Morocco. Now, this wasn't just your standard run-of-the-mill exciting game. It was a completely fascinating clash of tactical shifts, incredibly high-stakes pressure, and just sheer, raw physical grit. So let's jump right in. Welcome to New Jersey. Truly gorgeous evening, blue sky, delicious sunshine. The broadcast really painted the perfect picture right out of the gate. The stadium conditions set this massive, almost impossible expectation, because when the stage looks literally that perfect, you just know the football has to match it.
And talk about stakes, right? Right at kickoff, the pressure was immense. On one side, you've got Brazil, the five-time champions, carrying this incredibly heavy burden of historical expectation. And on the other, you've got Morocco, who are now a firm fixture in the world's top 10, playing with the super disciplined structure of a modern powerhouse. Honestly, neither team could afford to blink.
Section 1. The setup and early shock. A frantic first half.
It's wild how fast a match can just completely flip. Both sides definitely felt each other out defensively with a pretty tentative start. But then, Morocco rapidly shifted gears, and they basically exploded into the game like lightning. This sudden vertical pace completely caught a disorganized Brazilian midfield flat-footed.
So, the first 45 minutes really swung like a pendulum. We moved from that defensive, feeling-out phase straight into Morocco's lightning blitz, which totally paid off with Ismail Saibari's stunning goal. But, as we know, Brazil rarely stays down for long. Late in the half, Vinicius Jr. responded, bringing us to a smashing 1-1 deadlock right as the halftime whistle blew.
And what's so interesting about these two strikes is how perfectly they showcase the distinct ways these specific teams can hurt you. First, you have surgical precision, with Ismail Saibari capitalizing using a perfectly weighted, delicious lob. And then, you're hit with overwhelming individual brilliance when Vinicius Jr. steps up to lash in an absolutely lethal superstar goal. It was pure finesse going right up against explosive power.
What a smashing football match that is to lay before the world. Heading into the locker rooms, that was absolutely the prevailing sentiment. It was an incredibly absorbing 45 minutes that really served as the perfect advertisement for the sport on the global stage.
And keep in mind, this wasn't just a massive fixture for the everyday fans. Just to give you an idea of the gravity here, we're talking about heavy hitters in attendance: Brazilian legend Ronaldo, FIFA Secretary General El Grafstrom, and PSG President Nasser Al-Khelaifi. When figures like that are watching from the VIP boxes, you know the entire footballing world is glued to the pitch.
Moving on to Section 2, the second half grind, a defensive stalemate.
I love this quote. A second half which always looks worse in slow motion. It perfectly captures the gritty, tough reality of those final 45 minutes. That fluid, lightning-fast football we saw earlier completely vanished. The spaces closed up, momentum completely stalled out, and it turned into a grueling war of attrition.
The whole match got bogged down in these incredibly fierce midfield battles. We saw Matheus Cunha getting repeatedly sent to the ground, totally cynical body checks that stopped counterattacks dead in their tracks, and intense aerial duels that ended with really heavy landings, like Gabriel crashing into Raheem. Basically, technical finesse took a total backseat to bruising physicality.
Because the midfield was locked up, the fate of the match fell squarely on the shoulders of the goalkeepers. And wow, both of them delivered an absolute masterclass. Morocco's Bono was essentially a brick wall. He denied Lucas Paqueta a showpiece goal and absorbed a massive crack from Rafinha. On the other end, Brazil's Alisson shut down Alinui with a classic textbook bit of goalkeeping to keep things level.
Section 3. Settling for a draw. The managers react.
Down in the dugouts, the emotions were seriously conflicted. Take Carlo Ancelotti. He found himself caught right between the satisfaction of securing a tough point and some mild regret over his squad's pretty sluggish start. Mohamed Rabi, meanwhile, was stranded in this weird no-man's land. He had to be giddy to go toe-to-toe with a five-time champion, yet disappointed to lose that early lead. Neither found perfection, but they both absolutely found a reason to take the point. So, as we watch the rest of Group C unfold, we're left with a really massive question. Did this super gritty 1-1 draw expose the tactical ceilings of these two squads when put under intense physical pressure? Or are both of these giants simply managing the group stage, holding back their absolute best tricks for the do-or-die knockout rounds? Definitely keep your eyes on Group C. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer.